Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm here with another video. In this video, I want to show you basically how you can get your land wholesaling business off the ground for under 500 bucks. And what I mean by under 500 bucks is initially. So you really typically have a month, 30 days, right, to close, get a deal closed or get a deal in the works. So that way you feel comfortable paying for the subscription the following month. You know, a lot of the softwares and stuff that you use, they may have like a standard account that you can get that, you may not have access to all the other little trinkets and what gadgets and gadgets, but you can upgrade, right? So the same as, like, let's say for instance, starting out, you're going to need a CRM. You know what I mean? You want to be able to funnel your leads. You want to be able to keep track of your business. So that way you can kind of make, when you're bringing on acquisitions guys, when you're bringing on disposition guys, when you're having VAs make phone calls for you, you can plug them in there. That way you can double check and see how they're working, how productive they are, what leads you're getting in, how many offers you sent out, how many deals, your KPIs, all that stuff is going to be in there, right? Another thing you're going to need to start this business is a dialer. Me personally, I use Mojo dialer. Mojo dialer, I have a single line. It's $99 a month. So I said under 500, right? So that's the first 100 you're going to spend right there. $99 per month is what you're going to need in order to get started. You're going to be able to make more calls, right? If you can make more calls, if you can contact more numbers, the likelihood that you're going to get a deal faster is going to go up exponentially versus you're being on the phone dialing, hanging up, right? You can type notes and stuff while you're on the call, and you can also link your Mojo dialer to your Podio, so that way any leads that you get based off of what you click, if they're interested, not interested, dead, you can have your drip campaigns set up to where it'll automatically upload that, create the conversation, whatever you need to do next, you can go ahead and do that. So that's the second thing. So you have your CRM. I use Podio. I would recommend, if you're starting out, use Podio. Uh, the integrations in Podio are really good. The drip campaigns that you can create from Podio using Zapier and Mojo Dialer are really, really neat. So Podio, that's free. Now you can upgrade to I think the standard account, like the pro, I think it's 24 bucks a month, but that's relatively low. But if you're trying to start this business with little money out of pocket, like I said, under 500 bucks, I would definitely recommend just use Podio. You could probably use the free account, but if you have the 24 bucks, cool. So we have the $99 for the Mojo. Now, what's the point of having the dialer if you don't have the list, right? So you're going to have to pull your list. So me personally, I have a VA that he has MLS access. I've given him, and I taught him basically how to go get lots by certain areas and then skip trace them using True People Search and only put the most recent numbers. So you can buy stuff like PropWire, PropStream. You can, go to all these different platforms to pull lists. But the bad thing, in my opinion, because you're paying for each, right? They give you old numbers. We're sitting here in 2024. I don't want a number from 2018, 2017. That's just me personally, right? So, you can want to call every single number or have your VA calling numbers, but you don't know how old they are. But when you can skip trace it by yourself and go to True People Search, it'll show you when's the last time this number was used. If this is a landline, if this is wireless, you have the ability to put in the most recent numbers for each of your potential leads. So, it's a little time consuming. That's why I got a VA to do it. And, that's all they do is create lists. That's all they do. I have them working. What my expectation is I need 100 leads per week, 100 leads a week from them, on top of me purchasing lists and stuff like that. But so those leads are what I say are higher priority, is to make those calls. And once you're done with that, then you can go on a list that I pulled from Propstream. Propstream is 99 bucks a month, so 100. Let's just round it up to 100. So you have your dialer and you have Propstream. So that's 200 bucks right there. if you want to get a deal done fast within the first 30 days, 45 days, 90 days, you have to get these softwares. You have to have a dialer. You need to have a CRM, and you want to have some type of platform like a Propstream to pull a list from you in your zip codes, and that are you're wanting to do business in. So in the business with land, you can either ask a realtor if you can have access to MLS so you can see where most of the new construction is being sold at in your market. Or what you could do is you could ask a realtor just to say, hey, look, where's a lot of new construction? Give me 4 or 5 zip codes, in my market that there's, I would say 15 to 40 homes, new construction homes are selling a month. So that what zip codes you need to start with when you're pulling the list from PropStream. Another thing that I personally would recommend is, so let's stop for a second. So we have, if you want to upgrade the Podio, I think that's $25, 24 or $25. We'll say 25. And I might be wrong, but I know it's not expensive. I think it's like $25. You have your Mojo dialer, which is $99. So let's just round it to 100. So we're sitting at 125. And then you have your PropStream, which is 100. So we're at 225. $225, guys. Now, when you go to PropStream, you are going to have to pay to get the leads, right? So I think it's like you're paying like 4 cents or 10 cents, 12 cents or something like that. It's 12 cents. You're paying 12 cents per lead. So it's really about realistically how many calls can you make, right? And it's in real estate, bro, like especially with wholesaling, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. If you're making 100 calls a week and I'm making 500 calls a week, who's going to get a deal first? If you're just looking at that, more than likely me, right? Because I'm making 2,000 calls a month. You're making 400 calls a month, right? Yeah. So I'm turning more numbers, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just common sense. So if you have the money, so you can bring on a VA. VAs typically from I hire guys like they're out in Pakistan, India. They typically charge $5 an hour, right? So if you're like, okay, well, I can have a VA call from 11, 12, 1, 2 for 4 hours. And if you get off work, and then you can maybe take over from 4 to 8 or for 4 to 7. However, I don't know what the laws are about cold calling later, but you can hire they're $5 an hour. So that's $20 a day, right? That's $100 a week, essentially, if you want them calling Monday through Friday. So your first month, like I said, $500 or less. You have your lead system, you have the Podio, you have your dialer, you have where you're going to get your leads from. You can bring on a VA to make calls for 4 hours a day for you. 4 hours a day. You have him on a dialer. If he could touch 50 people a day, you're in pretty good shape. That's if Monday through Friday, that's 250 calls a week from your VA alone, not counting what you have time to do. Only for $100 to pay him $100 a week. So you can have your VA make calls for 2 weeks. You're sitting right now. That's 200, right? I said under 500. You're at 225. So we're at 425. You have $75 more you can spend. I would take that 75 and just use that money to buy just buy enough leads as you can. That's what makes most sense to me personally. I just gave you the game for under 500. For $500, how you can get started, how you can get your CRM, get your dialer, get your lead gen system, get you a VA, and purchase your leads. $500. Now, obviously, that's just the setup, right? Obviously, you want to be making offers that are competitive. You want to make offers that make sense. So there's still the evaluation of real estate, right? So in the land flipping business, you have to know what new construction is selling for. You don't really have to know deep dive into the cost to build, but you have to understand, and you could go back to some of my previous videos, I explained this. Builders typically cannot pay more than 15%, or let's say they don't want to pay more than 15% of what they can sell the property for. And so the example, if they're building a home, if they're building a home and it's going to sell for $400,000, right? Multiply that by 15%. They can't pay more than $60,000 for that lot. So you know, if you see doing the math and you're seeing this, you know, okay, if they can't pay more than 60, I need to start at 40. And based off of what you want to make, that's how you upsell it. So me, if I know they can't pay more than 60 and 60 is 15%, and I can get it under contract for 40, I'm gonna say I can do 50,000. I can do 50,000, right? Or if you want to make $5,000 on it, I can do 45,000. It'll probably go faster, but you just made $5,000. Now, another thing too, when you're getting these deals under contract, just because you get the contract signed and you send them off the title, that does not mean that you're getting paid that month. Because the point of sending your contract to title, especially if you're here in the state of Texas, some states don't use title companies. But if you are a state that y'all have title companies and you're getting title commitments back, the point of that is to make sure that whoever is trying to sell the property has the right to sell that property. If there's any liens on that property, right? If there's any judgments against that property, if there's any memos on that property, it has to be clean in order for the title company to want to insure it. So what can slow up a closing? The things I just named. Sometimes like liens, they could get paid out of whatever the proceeds are that the seller is going to get, right? But if you have a situation where you have somebody who maybe inherited a lot and they have multiple names on the title, right? But you're only speaking with one of the people. Then you have to go ahead and go get heirship affidavits signed by everybody. Then you would have to either send a contract to have everybody signed, or you would have to get everybody to sign their rights over to whoever you were negotiating with. That could take some time, especially considering a lot of these properties that are inherited, the family may have issues, everybody may not be on board. So it can slow up a deal. So if you were expected to close in March, it might mess it up to where you're in May, June, even July, right? And your buyer may get like a little tired and may be wanting to take their money and go, which they really can, because in your contracts, they say you have to be able to deliver a clear title in order for them to lose their earnest money if they decide to walk away. So it's important that you understand that you have to know how to read a title commitment. If you don't, you can call title companies and ask, do you all have any events coming up, any type of title commitment training to where they could show you what Schedule A means, Schedule B, Schedule C, and Schedule D in the title commitment. This is the information that's going to allow you to close more deals, allow you to help get everything straight on the title, whether that's if there's memorandums filed on that title from the seller basically getting the property under contract with multiple people and reneging or being uncooperative, that can be an issue, right? So what they do is they file memorandums against the property. It's going to show up on the title commitment. So you can skip trace those and say, hey, look, we're negotiating right now with the seller trying to get title clear on this. I see you have a memo. We're prepared to offer you this amount of money to get the memo clear. And you're going to have to do that for however, it could be one memo, it could be 7, it could be 5, whatever. But that's something that you wouldn't know what to do if you weren't able to view the title commitment and understand, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. So All that is going to play a role in you running a successful business. And when I say a successful business, I'm not talking about doing 100,000 a month, 50,000 a month. I'm saying being able to make enough money to sustain yourself with, maybe you work a full time, now you're able to drop down to part time, so you have more of your free time to do what you love, or put more time into your work. You know what I mean? You're able to, maybe you start now, and 8 months down the line, you're like, okay, I can really focus and make this my main source of income, to where I can sit and I can work from home. If I want to go and take a trip, all I need is my laptop, my headphones, Wi-Fi. That's really all you're going to need. So that's what I'm kind of preaching. You know, like, are there people doing astronomical numbers who have offices and their team is huge? Yes, there are. And if that's a goal of yours, that's fine. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you could use this as supplemental income to just make your life a little bit easier. Instead of working 40 hours a week at a W-2 job, now you could cut that to 15 hours a week. So now you have more time to, if you have kids, if you have a spouse, if you want to take some time back to yourself to build a gym routine, to build you a self-care routine, you could do that. But you have to go about this in a manner of, it's going to cost some type of money. That's why I'm giving you a little amount of $500 or less. $500 or less. And if this is something that interests you and you would want some hand holding on this, please shoot me an email. I have an option for you. I have an option. If you're interested in, I can show you exactly how my system works. I can show you how to fill out the assignment contracts. If you're trying to do deals here in the state of Texas, I can show you how to fill out your unimproved property contracts. I can show you what each schedule on a title commitment means. I can show you how to read a survey. I can show you how to negotiate with sellers, how to evaluate land, how to put all those numbers together. So if, like I said, if that interests you, and you, instead of you learning by yourself, like I gave you the keys, I'm gonna have the links to everything below so you can get started. If you want to go ahead and purchase everything, and then you want the training, the one-on-one, we do one-on-one live call every single Friday. And the reason that I picked Friday is because a lot of people, they start going out to bars and clubs. Friday, we have, and it's not a timed call. However long we go, that's how long we go. Every single Friday. So if you want access to that, shoot me an email. My email is going to be below. Shoot me an email. I'll give you the option, and we can go from there. So if this video helps you, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, comment down below what more content that you want me to put out in terms of this land flipping business, evaluating real estate, understanding the documents that need to be signed, how to network, how to set up your wholesaling land business. Whatever you need, I can try to provide you. If you need me to bring on people, like escrow officers, like builders, contractors, all those type of people to help you be able to understand how to look at a lot from a builder's perspective, so that way you put in a good offer so you can make you some money. And like I said, the goal is, for me, is to be able to teach you all how to take a little bit of time back for yourself. And if you happen to get rich in the process, kudos to you. I'm not there yet, but I've made enough money to be able to teach people to do this business. So again, hit that subscribe button.